hell yeah, we got a coach.
Monken's here. George is dead. Call me back.
Call me back. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, sometimes. Boy, it's surprise. So I got three scenarios. When do you want to hear them? Or do you want to just go by your first reaction?
Choose your own adventure.
All right. So let me, because I had two scenarios last night of what I think is playing out over the next 12 months. I got another scenario that, because guys got another text overnight. And if you didn't like the hire, you're really not going to like this text. You're really not going to like this text. Oh, my God. Woo! Okay, first off, can I just say something?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a bad coach. Okay? I know it just feels like more of the same. So you're not happy about it. You're not happy about the process. Oddly enough, it was weird where I'm getting a lot of the people who said, to hell with Jim Schwartz. He shouldn't be the head coach. And then when we found out that Jim Schwartz had literally cleaned out his office, according to Tom Pelissero, that he threw everything in a box and left, which, again, is not the worst way a coach has ever exited that building. Even close.
Were you going through it mentally of
Yes.
Jim Schwartz and his muscles,
Yeah.
his tight shirts? He always wore kind of tight athletic shirts.
Yeah, he did. Well, he's in good shape. Jim Schwartz is in good shape.
I know they don't have a typewriter anymore, but all I could think about was him throwing that typewriter through the room while astonished onlookers gazed.
Did you ever see
the other way?
This is going to be a deep cut. You remember when Dennis Farina gets fired in Little Big League and he starts ripping all the stuff off the wall? You got to go deep into that one. That's kind of, go find that clip on the internet. That's kind of how I would think about it. But I probably think that he probably takes care of his things and he put it all in a box and just walked out. I don't think he gave the bird. I think he said goodbye and I'm never coming back. And I don't think he's coming back. But there were a lot of people who said, who cares? And then the minute they found that out, this is just a disaster. The process, probably not great, guys. Let's be serious here. Not great. However, when it comes to Todd Monken himself, I don't think he's a bad coach. Now, everything else, though, seems to be a little bit nonsensical. You bring the guy back who, according to all the reports, was talking trash about everything going on pregame in 2019 to other coaches. Now, you could take that one or two ways. You could say, how could you hire a guy who was doing that when he worked in your facility? Or you can go, well, he's just telling the truth. It was a mess.
And now he gets to be the guy.
Hopefully
not that other guys get to bitch about.
Well, we'll find out here. So I don't think it's weird. I was certainly underwhelmed, no doubt. I was surprised, clearly, and you could see that at the end of the show yesterday when you were watching on YouTube Live or listening. There's a lot of hosts who goes, I'm getting text tone. Like, there's a lot of hosts who might do that. No, that was an odd day. That was an odd moment. I was clearly surprised. There's no doubt about that. I didn't think people would react well. They reacted even worse than I thought they would. It's been 20 hours. I want to know kind of how they feel about it now. I always think time changes things. But I will say he's not a bad coach. It's just he exists. The team exists. I think people don't know whether they're coming or they're going, and it just seems to be more the same gruel. We're in Brown's prison, and somebody just shoved the gruel in the slot and closed the door. Go ahead.
Boy, the he's a good coach thing is exactly what I stood in front of a room last night. The Americans of Italian Heritage Group. I spoke to them. They got my first thoughts on all of this, and I said exactly what you just said.
Paisanos?
What's it called?
It's either the Americans of Italian Heritage Club or the Italians of American Heritage Club. Either way, they let women in now. Last night was the first time they inducted 4 new women into the group. So I'm speaking to them.
Is that their tag? We let women in.
Yeah. How many groups of Italians are you going to speak in front of?
I don't know. It was great. Oh, my God. The food, the Dinos, and everything. So anyway, I said the exact same thing you just said, which was he is, no matter what you think of the process, no matter the fact that they led you down this path that it was going to be the next Sean McVay. Yeah. and then they went and got Bruce Arians, right? Like their version of Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians isn't a bad coach.
And that ended up being, he was always a good coach. And I said to the group last night, I said, it's kind of stunning that Todd Monken has not been a head coach by now, which you'd probably say had he not have been a head coach about Jim Schwartz, but he had been a head coach. It just went, ended poorly back then, and that was still on the minds of a lot of people. So I think the hardest thing for a lot of people to digest is they kept thinking it's either Udinsky or Shieldhouse. It's either the 30-year-old or the 35-year-old, because this is our only chance to get those guys. We're never going to be able to be the top job to get the next guy, or even, I know he was older, even to some extent the Ben Johnson. Like, we're getting our hooks in early. Mm-hmm. And then it's, no, we're going with the 59-year-old, who is widely respected.
He's 60 next week. We should have a birthday party for him.
You know what?
I've sung happy birthday to a Browns coach before, and I swore I'd never do it again. But you know what? Here we go.
Different times, different measures.
Crazy person.
So this is exactly what happened. They got themselves a good football coach, which I can't believe he hasn't coached before. But everybody is going to sour on the process. I think it was an eye-opening process to even like the most delusional Homer fans had to finally step back and go, oh, this is why everybody makes fun of us. But in the end, come September, will he have a football team prepared on the field as well as I think they can be prepared?
I think they'll be organized.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be complete disorganization. And I've celebrated. I had to think about myself because I've celebrated coaching hires before. I mean, I was really excited they hired Hugh Jackson, and he was not a good coach. And I'll just leave it at that. Obviously, I know you want more, but I ain't gonna give you more. And then Freddie was a good guy. Freddie was completely disorganized, with 100% disorganized, and
in over his head. You'll not say that about Todd Monken.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will. Now, you got to pay attention to the coaching hires that he makes, the assistant coaching hires that he makes. He's already, it seems that it's been reported he's going to bring in George Warhop. Now, there's former Browns offensive linemen who are big fans of George Warhop. But I think a lot of Giants fans, and I found this yesterday, a lot of Giants fans thought that they were going to be getting him. And they were not too thrilled because it does seem that the first time around when George Warhop was here, his offensive lines were very good. And then after he was here, he spent a lot of time with different organizations, and it seems that, I mean, the proof's right now. It's PFF, so you can take whatever you want to out of it. It can't be the end-all, be-all, but there is evidence there that the offensive line rankings, it seems that everybody got better after he left. And we cared very closely. We watch very closely, and we care very much about offensive lines here. So that might be one thing that we pay attention to, and we've obviously seen the best with Bill Callahan, and we saw the worst with Andy Dickerson. There's the best of offensive lines and the worst of them. So that's something we have to pay attention to. I think he'll be organized, but the reaction is not good. Jim's upset. I don't think he's coming back. We can break that down. I'm not just letting him out of his contract. If the 49ers want a piece of him, fine. You're going to have to give me something out of it. Can you get late draft picks for a defensive coordinator?
I think the hope is that you get some compensation.
Give me another. I need all the players I can get.
This isn't going to be like Callahan when we let him go. Okay. And this was we're being professional. In this case, no. I mean, he's and Callahan was valuable too, but Jim Schwartz really valuable. And he's been, it's got to be weird. And I don't want to make today's show more about the guy that didn't get the job than did get the job. But I have a feeling the callers may kind of go in that route. We'll see. Because man, yesterday that's the central question I got was more about Jim Schwartz than anything about Todd Monken. But Jim Schwartz had been a trusted advisor down the stretch of the season. Now, you can read into that what you want, but Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, let's be honest here. They had been consulting a lot of the ways with Jim Schwartz, so it stood to reason that Jim Schwartz was going to assume at some point he was getting this job.
Yeah.
And he thought he was getting this job. I don't know what happened. I don't know what kind of, call it a rift, a fissure, or a difference of opinion in that front office and ownership. But clearly, and I think you can read the tea leaves on this in kind of assessing some of the reporting that was coming in, even though all the reporters admitted that not a lot was being shared, but we kind of knew that Andrew Berry wanted to go young, right? Wanted to go really young with this hire, wanted to get that next Sean McVay. Jimmy Haslam seemed to support Jim Schwartz, and how did it come to be that neither of those two are the head coach today? It's pretty unbelievable.
I wonder if he just kind of split the baby, tried to find a happy medium. And also, I think that they want to hire somebody that I think that Jimmy wanted to hire somebody that he trusts to also call the plays. And like Todd Monken's going to call the plays. So he's going to be the head coach and he's going to call the plays, which I don't know if he's ever. I'm sure he called plays at Southern Miss. I'd have to go take a look. So he's probably called plays from the sidelines before because he's obviously got to be on the sidelines now as the head coach. I mean, you can try to do things differently. I don't know. Josina Anderson said a league source said that they should do co-head coaches with him and Jim Schwartz. I go, why stop there?
Yeah.
Let's have a board of coaches.
Let's flip a coin like Romeo Crennel before every game. Hey, is this going to be my game or your game?
I say get your cell phones out. You want to get people in the building coming up this fall? Get your cell phones out, pop open your apps. You tell us what to do on fourth down. It's your call, fans. Might as well.
Instead of the text line
coaches
to rat on your fellow 537
Who
boy.
The hell? I want to know the source.
You get to pick the actual play.
I want to know the source. I ain't going after her. Somebody told her that. I kind of want to go.
Oh my God. No, you know
I
what
want to find out who it is and go, you think that's a good idea?
No, you know what
or do you just think it's a good idea for the Browns?
Kenny, it's that old Zach Jackson adage that everything's believable with the Browns, that people are probably telling Josina things going, well, she'll put it out there and people believe it because it's the Browns.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, co-head coaches, that's for Little League Baseball. Todd Monken's the head coach, come hell or high water, come better or worse. Miles didn't seem to be a fan of it. He posted an Instagram post to which I say, yeah, that's Miles and Wadsworth. That's exactly what a Browns fan would post. You're here forever. You're going to have to make the best of a bad situation. You ain't going to get traded.
Well, we said yesterday.
It ain't going to happen.
We said
Clearly
yesterday.
Clearly not, because I got three scenarios to run by everybody at 6:20. I don't think you guys are going to necessarily care for two of them.
I was surprised that more of this hadn't been coming out. But, we said on the show yesterday that Denzel and Miles had gone to bat big time for Jim Schwartz. And by the way, I saw some people say, why are you letting the players dictate any of this? No. It's kind of standard when you have veterans in the league and guys, one that's going to be a Hall of Famer, and Denzel, who, my God, if he can do this for another 5 years, we might be talking Hall of Fame for Denzel Ward. But you're going to take the temperature from those guys.
Now, they shouldn't be the decider.
No,
this isn't the NBA.
Nor clearly were they.
They aren't quarterbacks, and they weren't. Obviously, they weren't. But you do want to take the temperature of it. I would have to think that Jimmy knew how Jim Schwartz was going to react to this, so they were probably prepared for this type of fallout. They know each other very well through the last 3 years, and obviously Jim Schwartz is a guy who runs hot. And so I don't think that Jim Schwartz is going to coach here, and that's fine. I don't have anything against Jim Schwartz or have it out for Jim Schwartz, but I'm not just going to let him go to the Pittsburgh Steelers or the San Francisco 49ers for nothing. That would be something I'd go, no, you're going to give me something out of it. And if it's a 6th-round pick or a 7th-round pick, then I'm going to get another pick out of it. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna. If quarterbacks are currency, then damn it, a defensive coordinator is going to be currency. I'm going to get something out of this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Or I'll just let him sit for the entire year. Fine. I'll pay him to go away. It ain't my money. I don't care. And what's money when it all comes down to it? Todd Monken got a 5-year deal. And to be frank with you, because of the roster that he inherits, I don't think he sees the end of the 5 years. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I think he's walking into a not great situation. And, the term bridge coach is going to be used a lot. And I don't think he's bad, but I don't know how he just turns this into something incredible.
I hate that term. I hate that term.
I don't like using it either, Tone, but here we are.
Because it's like, what did you assume that any coach was going to make it to 5 years? Were you going to bet on Nate Scheelhaus, the guy who'd never done it, or Grant Udinski?
This is where I'll disagree with you. They were more willing to bet on the 30 to 35-year-old than they were the 60-year-old.